Okay, then. Let's fucking do this. Let's go, Scotland. I don't know why I said it that way. Helluva Boss. There's some episodes of that now left, and I want to get through all of them. Don't know if I can, but I'm going to give it a game shot. So I've set up a stream on the Discord. Hello, Discord. You can say hi to YouTube if you want to. There's like 437, Jesus fucking Christ, you people. 437 people here right now. I can't see what they're saying. I assume it's nice, or horny, probably both. And we're just going to get through as many episodes as we possibly can in one setting. On YouTube, it'll be broken up into episodes. I'm not going to upload a 6-hour video of like reacting to 3 episodes in a row or whatever. That's kind of tempting. Actually, maybe maybe once I'm done with this season, I'll just put all of the reactions in one video and upload that to YouTube. It'll be 48 hours long. That would be funny. Just to see if anyone I'll put one Easter egg. I'll put a single little tiny Easter egg somewhere in the videos, just somewhere random place, and I'll see if anyone finds it. You can prove that you actually watched it. Something that's stupid. Anyway, I've had a couple of sips of an energy drink, so I'm a little bit high feet right now. But let's watch the episode that's called Oops, shall we? Let's see what happens in that one. It's a short title, so I assume it's a short episode with not that much to talk about. Aussie. That explains the... I was about to say with the saxophone riff, it was like, oh, are we doing like a detective noir thing? No, we're doing a horny thing instead. Aussie, and look at that, he's got his little boyfriend sweeping on his chest. I can't see chat right now, but I bet someone's posted like, oh, it should have been me, or like, I'm jealous, or like, when will I be happy about this particular image of like sleeping on the chest of an absolutely astonishingly enormous, well, cockerel, I suppose. Oh, no, hang on. Once again, the background work. These, like, the little detail that the flames are all like hearts because of lust, and like the background work that is in these. I should actually look at his bedspread as well, because like hearts. Okay, nothing else there particularly to see, but like, look at this gorgeousness. Like, someone spent a fuckload of time rendering out this one fireplace scene. Oh, handcuffs, ball gag, of course. You know, for the House of the Embodiment of Lust, there are surprisingly few dicks and vaginas around here. You'd think there'd be a little more, right? Like, if even Moxie's dad can fill his house with more dicks. Come on. Cuckoo clock. Ah, yes, of course. Wait, no. Okay, well, yep, there's the... I was like, oh, it's doing a can-can thing. No, it's not. It's not doing a can-can thing. There's the penis. I thought she was naked for a second, but... Damn, girl, like, you do maid work in those? That's gotta be an absolute killer on the calves. Again, like, so much goddamn good background work for, like for shots that are not going to be reused for the episode, right? Like, that's one of the things, like some cartoons, like even anime, you pay attention to the backgrounds, right? You can see, like, oh, okay, like, they're reusing this thing over and over and over again because they had the time sunk into actually making this thing. They got to get their money's worth out of it. And then some, like, and that depends very much on, like, how well the episode, like, the production is planned, right? It's all about, like, can the production be planned in such a way that the background artists have time to finish, like, bespoke backgrounds for individual shots, or do we have to sort of find our way around by reusing backgrounds that we've made already? And, like, one assumes that a lot of these things are one-offs. Thirsty boy. Yeah, that's about 30% of chat right now. Probably. Again, I'm assuming.
and shine, Ozzy.
That's Brightman. There's your Brightman. I do really like the doubling, lots of smearing. What a lovely spin anime. There's a dick. There we go. Penis detected. Okay, so he has like a range of different hats for different occasions. That's cute. That's adorable. Oh, ball gag. There's a ball gag also. Of course there is. What about that dog? Dog? Dog. What? Whatever the hell that is. What about that thing? Is that important? They're clearly having a lot of fun with those robot arms. How far do those robot arms extend exactly? Because that there looks like it's partly prosthetic, but then that doesn't. Are they prosthetics? Like, they're not just... Because, like, he didn't have them when he was a kid, so they must be prosthetic of some kind. From Ozzy, I suppose? Which sort of begs the question, what kind of damage did he suffer that necessitate... What did it... Well, maybe it's not necessarily damage. It could just be because he wanted them. Who knows? But the animators are having so much fun with all the shit. Like, it's just an excuse to turn someone into a rubber hose character, so the animators can be like, fuck anatomy, he can do what he wants. Yoink. Like that, sure, why not? That's how you hold a thing. That's like a classic bit of... That expression, man, that is so fucking Rescue Rangers. That is so late 90s Disney original animated series. Like, that reminds me a lot of, like, an expression that Joanna would have in, like, Rescue Rangers Down Under.
Rise and shine.
Right, so the prosthetics only go up to, like, his thighs. So he's got thigh-high boots just kind of built in. That's cute.
Rise and shine, Ozzy.
Oh, again with the horn.
Don't blame me. Blame how fucking fun they are. Okay, so today you have a meeting with the distributor about the new shipment of vibrators. Then you gotta host a safety meeting because of what happened with the old shipment of vibrators. And then you have a nooner with Prince Stolas.
You scheduled me during lunch.
Well, you're pretty good at squeezing things in.
Let me just, because I was curious, I saw the way that he was dismounting the bed. Yes, I chose those words deliberately. I mean, look at that. Look at them having some fucking fun. I do also like, clearly what the prosthetics then, like, well, I wonder, like, am I overthinking this? Hey, paddles. I'm overthinking this, obviously, but I do like the idea that the prosthetics are also in part just like an accessibility accommodation to allow him to exist comfortably in an environment that's built for someone who's like 14 feet tall or whatever. Man, just the little shit they do in the background, like the way they handle the list being dragged down. Like, you see the weight of it, right? Like, you can see like the weight and fold of it as it's coming down. It's like gorgeous. Lovely paper movement, like, and accentuating that, like, in the tail, and using, like, this is where the subtitles are getting in the way a little bit, like, accentuating his spinning, like, with the tail following, and then the list is, that's lovely character animation. Whoever's animating Fizz here is just having a fucking ball with it.
Safety meeting.
Or a ball gag, as the case may be in this episode.
Because of what happened with the old shipment of vibrators. And then you have a nooner with Prince Stolas.
You scheduled me during lunch.
Well, you're pretty good at squeezing things.
I also like that gesture Ozzy does. Like here, is he opening like the robe up and then he does that little flick?
During lunch.
That's an interesting gesture. Like that has a specific kind of character to it.
Well, you're pretty good at squeezing things in. But I left.
Also, these fucking expressions on Fizz. Like the little tongue thing he clearly likes to do. I'm sure there's a lot of tongue things he likes to do, but you know what I mean. Look at that little goober.
But I left time for a big old breakfast.
Let me guess. I'm handling that too.
I mean, unless you want me to take a crack at cooking again.
No. Never again.
What? Maybe I could burn the milk this time.
Stop.
Oh, you know what I'm craving?
Yeah, Asmodeus, like, oh, how dare you bring love into my house of lust? Oh, love, how, we don't like love, we only like lust, sure. You people have no kind of deep romantic emotional affection for one another. I can see that in the way you interact. This is clearly a purely physical relationship.
Oh, you know what I'm craving? Burgers!
No, it's too early for burgers, you maniac.
Burger time.
Yeah, like these are not boyfriends or lovers. This is entirely fuck buddies. 100%. Like no, I can see no deeper relationship between them whatsoever. No signs of any particular. I'm making fun of him, but like, I know.
Burger time! Burger time!
Yeah, no, sure, right, lust, just lust, 100% lust, all the lusting time. Putting your foreheads together to make a little fucking heart, yeah, sure, we're not boyfriends, it's Amy. Oh man, I was half expecting like a dildo to be hanging in the kitchen somewhere, like this, just for the fun of it, but okay. Oh, no, we have to look for background details. Let's see. Royal scandal speech. Shocking new photos emerge. Oh, is there something... fucking subtitles. Heart hoarded by nymphs. So, okay. The XY crossword puzzle. I want to see the clues. Oh, okay. So there is a little bit of a thing there, huh? That's not necessarily supposed to be happening. King of Oz, a hypocrite? Wacky waving inflatable flailing tube dicks. It's Willy Wackford again, of course. Oh, forgot to censor that one, I see. Plugs. Biggest, ballsiest, something, something, grown-up fun times about to have its hottest... Yeah. Drops off into romance. Sicking lovely-dovey. Tongues wagging and hearts breaking today as shocking new photos emerge of Asmodeus, the studly sin of lust, engaged in illicit That's not how you spell illicit, by the way. Canoodling with longtime business partner Finzaroli, ex-performer from the now disbanded All Imp Circus. Something or other, as well as the face and something. Everyone's favorite companion bot. Mammon's favorite seems to have bedazzled Asmodeus, side to side on the more his fat walnut. Thank you. Oop. Oh, hello. Again with the lovely expressions. And like, just like, when he's shocked or surprised, yeah, fuck it. Noodle arms. Noodle arms for everything. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Again with the expressions. Look at this little boy. Lizard-faced little shitbag.
Yeah, I know. I can pick up some more while I'm out today.
The fuck? Someone's having fun. Fruity, juicy, 100% banana milk, I guess, with the fucking, and then cream pie.
Today?
About that, you're still going to that contest rehearsal without me?
Well, you have a packed day today, and I know you aren't big on the whole mammon thing, so...
It's the Greed Ring. One of the cities is literally called Ransom.
You worry too much. You know I ain't afraid of ropes. Besides, I'm slippery.
I mean, only after I...
What?
What?
Come on, Oz. I can be on my own one day.
But
This is a literary device known as foreshadowing.
you haven't been to the Greed Ring alone since becoming Ma'am's big brand figure.
Yeah, I guess, but it's not like I'm gonna stick around.
I can get you an escort.
I can handle it. Come on, Big Daddy. Please.
Well, you know I can't say no to a face that cute.
That's why I use it.
Just try to stay out of trouble, Fizzy Frog.
Stop it.
Oh my god. Romantic people are weird. It's cute, it's funny, it's adorable. I love seeing it, but you people are odd.
Oz, I have the new shipment of.
You mind trying to have an unemotional bang sesh here?
Yeah, because we're so not in love.
I guess I called that at the start of the episode somehow. So that's gonna be the crux of it, huh? That they know that they're... Well, that's the question, I guess. Like, do they know that... Are these two dipshits in denial? They can't possibly. They can't possibly be in denial about it for real. It has to be a... If these two dipshits are in denial for real, I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna laugh so much. I'm gonna make so much more fun of them. If they're putting on an act, fair enough, I get it, but... Unemotional bang sesh my ass. Because this is one of the things about the romantics, right? The fucking... You in love motherfuckers, right? This is one thing about you people that I've noticed, is that when you really get into those feelings, that right there, that thing that Fizz is doing right now, like literally entwining himself with his lover, like spinning himself around Oz almost as though attempting to become a part of his body. You people love that shit. You're all over that shit all the time. The deep emotional desire to be like physically in union with your partner. You're all over that shit. Right? That can also be horny, obviously, but like this right here, he's literally tying him up with his own limbs, but somehow this is the least horny. Like, there's some horny in there, but like that is not about like the kink of it. That is about the joy of being like melded together as closely as possible with someone that you just feel this deep, strong attachment to. So these motherfuckers cannot be in denial. I swear to God.
Oz, I have the new shipment of.
Also, her character design is excellent. I like that, like the green glasses and like the sort of slightly kind of the same sort of thing Angel Dust has, where like the hair is used to create like this flat sort of landing, like curve on the head that sort of gives it like a broadness to it, and like the little details, right? Because like this is something I ended up writing an essay about it on Tumblr for some reason, just because of ADHD brain kicked in. Dungeon Meshi, right? One of the things that's excellent about Dungeon Meshi and like the character design of Yoko Kui, the way that she approaches it is that she has that instinct for using the whole character, right? Like to design a character, right? Like taking a joy and a pleasure in implementing physical difference as much as possible. And one of the little things is like just something like that, a tooth gap on a random background character, having a little bit of a tooth gap just as a thing of like, oh shit, that's something about her that's different from someone else. And that's just a way that you can make a character have a presence, right? Even like this character's probably, I don't know how much she's going to come back, if she's going to be important or whatever, but it doesn't matter. But because there is those little details, just a couple of things like the freckles, the glasses, where we're using a bunch of elements to make the character more than just a disposable blank slate background NPC. And I just like that. I enjoy that. For me, like, with my particular, like, neurodivergent weirdness, that's the shit I look for in background characters. I think I've ranted about that in these episode reactions before.
You mind trying to have an unemotional bang sesh here?
Yeah, because we're so not in love.
Yeah, love is stupid.
That's very much the affect of, like, this isn't worth my paycheck, but I'm curious.
Woo! That was close, huh?
Just come right back when it's over and keep your phone on you, okay?
Got it right here. Be right back after. Don't worry, Oz. I'll be super low-key. Nobody will notice
This is a literary device known as foreshadowing.
me.
Or, well, it's not foreshadowing so much as it's setting up a Gilligan cut, which is a character says, this thing is not going to happen. The thing that you're worried about happening, not going to happen. Obviously, I'm not going to do anything like the thing. And then you cut to the thing. It's a good joke setup. Jesus fucking Christ. I know they're supposed to be fighting, but that looks horny to me. Again, background character. I genuinely cannot say enough nice things about the background character design in this fucking show. I really genuinely can't. Like, they do seem to take, like, a genuine pleasure in it. And a genuine joy in just inventing fun, interesting background character designs for, like, single scenes. Like, two imps fighting here, right? You don't really need to make them that different from one another, but some effort when it... Like, how long is this shot even going to be on screen? Like that, and it's never back. But someone went through and put in the effort to make the background characters, like, interesting. I like that. Oh, for fuck's sake! Confetti cum shot is a sentence that I am now going to have uttered in my life. And that, like, the little secondary, like, they go down and then they do another little... For fuck's sake. Come on! Honestly, did they turn into 3D models for that shot? It kind of looks that way. And maybe it's just the pixelation doing something to it, but okay. It has a little... It doesn't have the high legs, so it has a little doggy wheelchair thing? Aww. That's adorable. Wait, the subtitles just told me something that I forgot to look at. Queeves, you saw that, right? They're called queeves, like queefs plural. Of course they are. Of course that's what they're calling. Jesus Christ. Man, Fizz is just fully on that fucking... Well, I wouldn't even say... It's not Looney Tunes, really. It's much more Tex Avery. Like, Fizz is on, like, some Tex Avery shit, right? Because Tex Avery is the guy, like, Droopy the dog. Well, not the guy. Like, more people worked on production than him. But Tex Avery is the guy you think about, like, with Droopy the dog. You think about, like, that one clip that I use sometimes of, like, the wolf doing the wolf whistle at Little Red Riding Hood. That's a Tex Avery joint. Tex Avery was sort of, like, the animation that he produced during, like, the golden age of cinema animation, the shorts period, like, back in, like, the 40s, 50s, and 60s. He was sort of like a slightly edgier, more adult alternative to the Looney Tunes, to especially the Disney cartoons, right? Because they would often concern themselves with lurid shit. Like there was a lot of more sexuality content in there. There's like a lot more implied, like these characters are gonna definitely fuck as soon as the camera cuts away. A lot more sort of like sleaziness about a lot of the things that he did. And like when people talk about Looney Tunes levels of violence these days, like a lot of the time I feel like, no, you're kind of talking about Tex Avery, really, because you're talking more about like the level of cartoon violence that Avery would use in like especially the Droopy the dog cartoons. Because he went further. Like he went further than Looney Tunes often did. And like even further than Tom and Jerry sometimes did. And I'm seeing a lot of Tex Avery in the way that Fizz specifically, and again, fucking background character design alert. The way that Fizz is conceptualized, because like a lot of what Tex Avery did also came to influence, like, when you think about The Mask, Jim Carrey's The Mask, we should watch that for movie night on the Discord server at some point. That is all inspired by Tex Avery. Like, that's all, like, that's really, again, not so much Looney Tunes as it is like Tex Avery's influence on, like, what we think of when we think of, like, ridiculous cartoon violence. And to me, like, a lot of what Fizz is doing here, that feels more like being of that particular lineage, like with the silly gimmicks and gadgets and shit like that. Where the Looney Tunes, like, tended to be more vaudeville, right? Like the Looney Tunes style of humor came from vaudeville. It came from theater in a way that Tex Avery's really kind of didn't. He came much more from cartooning, in terms of the comic style that he had. Again, background character design, man. Like, that fucking character. Like, what the fuck? That's a skeleton wolf dog thing? Fucking whatever that is? With, like, a clown outfit on? That fucking rules.
Man, it's great not being in the spotlight for once.
Look, lady, it's not my
Hey, there he is.
You only know how to make coffee that tastes like piss. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, wow, looky who it is.
Oh, fuck. You again.
Stalking me now, huh?
Oh, don't fucking flatter yourself, clown. I have my own life, you know, without you in it.
Uh-huh, sure, Blitzo.
The O is silent now, bitch. And gee whiz, we've been in each other's relative vicinity twice in the last 15 years. That would make me the shittiest stalker in history.
Twice is already way too much.
Yeah, well, at least I'm still actually working for my shit and not getting everything handed to me like some pampered attention whore.
Oh, someone hit a berserk button. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, well, guess that's what resilience and talent gets ya. Plus, my horns were always bigger than yours, weren't they?
Nice little flourish. Right, as he intensifies the emotional attack, we get this intensification of, like, the darkness around his eyes. I do like that, like... Again, I wonder about the specific, like, what exactly happened between these two. Maybe that's what we're going to find out in this episode. But clearly... I don't know if it's the word whore, or if it's, like, the insult of having everything handed to you by someone else. Because, like, this is me thinking about Fizz's relation, like Blitz's relationship to everyone else is like that thing of, like, I have to be the one who takes care of everyone, right? Like, that's what he was sort of shoved into that role by his father. Is like, I have to be the one who gives everything to everyone else, and I have to give of myself all the time. Which, like, I don't know what that dynamic would have been like with Fizz. Like, in terms of, like, what they provided to each other. And, like, the kind of bitterness that might foster once that shit turns toxic, as it inevitably will when someone is, like, operating on that level of unresolved trauma. Because clearly that's a berserk button. Like, he said something there that, like, makes Fizz go, oh, this motherfucking guy. You know what? Let's fucking... But then, emotional support animal. And the relationship with Ozzy seems to be the thing that grounds him, right? That centers him a little bit, like, makes him... Whatever insult it was, like, whatever it was that Fizz just triggered in him, the relationship with Ozzy seems to be healing some part of that. Or at least allowing him to cope with it, which I think that's interesting.
Yeah, well, guess that's what resilience and talent gets ya. Plus, my horns were always bigger than yours, weren't they?
And that makes me wonder about, okay, horns. What's the significance of that? Like, is he just making a dick joke? Is he just like, my cock is bigger than, like, is that all he's saying? Or does the size of the horns have some kind of significance here? Does that mean something to the both of them? Like, is that, like, because he seems to know that that's an insecurity trigger for Blitz for some reason, so I'm curious about that. Let's see. I do like... Fizz drops condoms. Blitz drops a horse doll. Of course he does. Also, let me just have a little bit of a look at that, because I can't imagine that they weren't doing anything fun with his arms. Okay, no, they restrained themselves. They mostly focused on doing the, like, turning the two of them into a wheel.
So, you say you're good? Because we really need a big score right now.
Oh, hey, recurring villains.
On the ropes just last week.
Sure, but not dead?
It was called off, but I have a body count in the hundreds. I ain't afraid to go after anyone. Women, kids, and cute little faced puppy-looking things. Don't matter.
I'll tell you what. If you can deliver something of value, I'll consider it.
One moment.
Ah, I think I see the shape of how this is gonna go. Interesting that Krim is back already. It's fucking, like, again, the foreshadowing thing. I can be alone for one day. Oh, don't worry so much, Oz. Fuck's sake.
One moment.
Hired.
Funny to run into you again, Blitzy.
So what the shape... Okay, so the shape of this, what it seems to be setting up, is Blitz and Fizz being put into a dangerous situation together. They have to somehow put some differences aside, learn to work together in order to escape the thing, and over the course of the process of that, we're going to find out more about their relationship, why it broke apart, what the resentments are that they have for one another. And, like, by the end of it, I imagine everyone sort of... Ozzy shows up and blows something to Kingdom Come. These are my assumptions. These are predictions just based on the shape of what it looks like right now, but we'll... God damn it, fucking character design. We'll see how that plays out.
And with a famous friend.
I like that little head turn. Like the way they turn, like here, because here his head is basically a circle, and then like the little turn like adds that level of three-dimensionality to it, like where he's like twisting his jaw up and over. That's a difficult move to animate sometimes.
Oh, fuck me.
For the record, we are not friends.
Ozzy's Willy Wanka. Oh, for fuck's sake. God, for fuck's sake. Lol, get it? Yes, I get it! You know, back when I used to do not safe for work commissions as part of my work as a commission artist, this is kind of what it felt like sometimes. Like, a dick was never, like, never got a normal colored dick on those character designs. Never. It was always, like, green, purple, yellow, sparkly, transparent one time. That was fun. Hard to figure out how to draw, but, you know. Speaking of character design, what a fucking set of goon character designs right there. Like, if Ozzy was the villain of something and there was a fight in the like, what excellent henchman character designs for these fucking suits. I also like, hey, there's like boob windows for everyone. Like that's just good villain henchman character design right there. Like distinctive, noticeable, clearly identifiable, and they can set it apart, but also not so loud as to be distracting.
Larger. You can never be too large.
Yes, you can. Oh, yes, you can.
You can never be too large. Let me hit the spot. right there. That's good. I like that. That's good.
Share your orgasm hell-wide fingering synergy. Test sample number 2.0. $78-inch? Jesus fucking Christ. This is how you know furries are working on this production. Oh my god. Ooh, nice match cut. Guess there's such a thing as too high intensity settings. I like that. Like, that's a really nice little... That's a nice little cut. Portrait of himself with his not boyfriend, who isn't his boyfriend. He's not his boyfriend. Why would anyone think that they're boyfriends? Why would anyone think that? There's no romance here, just like because they're draped on top of each other with fucking cherubs. I know it's not literal cherubs, but cherubs, as it were, and like fucking urns of fruit, like some fucking classical. But yeah, no, it's like, I also, this is something a lot of people don't know about me. I also have a giant oil painting of me together with someone that I don't care about at all. Like we're fully naked and like making out, but like I don't care about them. We're barely friends. I don't know where they live or like that's, you know, people have that in their houses all the time. It's a normal thing. What I'm saying is, Ozzy, you're not exactly being stealthy. If it's so fucking important for you to keep it secret, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe don't put the in your office where people can see it. Like at least put it in the bedroom. Like, far be it from me to give you advice on how to be, I guess, closeted as a romantic. But, like, come on. Like, or a little picture on your desk or in, like, a desk drawer. Like, so it's like... You can't be surprised that there's tabloid articles. Oh, that's a cute little lighting details. Is that implying that, like, they painted his fucking eyes and teeth with glow-in-the-dark paint? Oh, that was a bit of a bit corruption. Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, Stolas, hello. Wait, why is Stolas here, actually? Hang on. Crystals. Lust crystals. Access to the human world. He had the thing with the book, so there was some setup happening for that. So is that where this is going to come to a head? Because Stolas doesn't seem happy to be there.
Stolas! Hey there, birdie babe. Haven't seen you since you crashed my club. How you been? Still getting your kink on with that feisty imp?
Well, that's actually what I'm here about. You see, I seem to have found myself with feelings for him. And I'm not sure if it's a mutual thing.
Again, Ozzy, if you're about to be like, I'm not about love, I'm about lust. If you're about to do that to Stolas to his face right now, while you have that portrait hanging on your fucking wall, you're not about to do that to him.
Well, I can tell you, if you're looking for a love potion, you came to the wrong fucking guy. I don't fuck with that artificial bullshit. Lust shouldn't be about force. It's an art to be earned and enjoyed. It's all about that journey to Pleasure Town. You feel me?
Oh. No, never.
Also, Stolas, you don't get to sit there and pretend, like, listen, you don't get to sit there and pretend like, oh no, I would never know anything about that. You have implied what you two get up to in the bedroom. Come on.
Never that. You see, this inn has a business he runs. He needs to access the mortal realm to carry out his work. I know your demons are some of the only ones who can traverse freely and legally. I was wondering if you could assist me in finding a way he could too.
Oh, Stolas, my heart bleeds for you, but my partner, business
Yeah, business partner, sure.
partner, Fizzarelli, hates your imp guy, Blitzo, right? Yeah, hates.
He does? But why?
Not my story to tell, but trust me, I would help if I could, but I can't. Sorry.
Yeah, his business partner, who's not his boyfriend, won't let him, so they're... Fucking hell, Ozzy, really? Froggy? Aw, that's adorable. Okay. Which is where we return to Stolas' motivation for this, right? What it seems to me Stolas is trying to do here is remove a transactional element from their relationship. Right now, anyway. Like, I guess we might get some insight into that later. That, like, the idea of trying to find Blitz some way to access the human world without the use of Stolas' tome is, depending on how Stolas thinks of it, like, Stolas might think of it, I'm doing a favor for someone, right? Like, I'm doing an act of service for this thing. It also feels a little bit like he's trying to take the grimoire out of the equation, right? Like, if I don't have, like, if he doesn't need me for my grimoire, will he still want me, right? If I don't provide him with this, like, is this the only thing that he's here for? Does he even care? It feels like he's setting up for a bit of a love test, maybe, also. Which is kind of, like, given the indication that Blitz has shown Stolas about how he thinks about the relationship, that Blitz thinks that this is purely transactional. That's not necessarily, like, that's an understandable thought process. Right? Like, it's like, that's a way to prove that this is not merely transactional, right? Like, that's a way to prove that, like, for Stolas, he's not trying to use the tome to bind Blitz to him, which is, again, we saw in Truth Seekers, that's kind of how Blitz feels about it, is this thing of Stolas both as this beautiful thing that he yearns for, but which he also feels trapped to, right? By the power differential between them. So, not the worst possible move, but there are some very bad ways to execute it.
Hello, Osmodius. You don't know me, but you don't need to. All you need to know is I have your little jester here with me. If you want him back alive, you will give me exactly what I want.
Do you have any idea who you are fucking with?
I think it's a recording.
You probably just asked if I know who I'm dealing with. And, oh yes, I know. The weakest and most non-threatening of the sins. The king who will do whatever it takes to save the worst-kept secret in all of hell. We both know you won't risk anything happening to the clown. So be a good little bitch boy and do the thing. My lawyers will be over shortly with the contract of demands. You have until the witching hour to sign it. Now cut. I said cut it, you fucking...
The weakest of all the sins, you say. Again, foreshadowing is a literary device in which... Because that feels very much like Crimson doing the underestimating thing again. Doing the, like, assuming that he's better than everyone think, like, oh yeah, that guy, he's weak. Yeah, it's like...
Oh, chill out, Jester. Christ on a stick. It's like you've never been tied up before.
Sure, but not by a bunch of psychos and a piece of shit.
Am I... Okay, am I the psycho or the piece of shit?
Both.
Nice.
Yeah, that checks.
How is this happening? happening? I was just supposed to grab some gas station milk and rehearse some juggling.
Oh, relax. I'm sure your big royal chicken ain't gonna let anything happen to his peppy little fuck doll.
Oh, playing that card, huh? Okay. What about you? Seems your tastes have gotten more regal lately.
Yeah, well, unlike you, I fuck who I want when I want. I'm not gonna be tied down to some big blue blood asshole.
You're not gonna be tied down, are you? Not really, Blitz. You don't feel any ties at all, any chains around your neck binding you to Stolas, like any pull to? No, none whatsoever. My.
You could have fooled me the way Princey was cozying up to you at Ozzy's.
That's clever. That's a nice little, like, using the tail to illustrate a hug. That's a nice little animation move.
The way Princey was cozying up to you at Ozzy's.
Hey, Stolas only cares about having a rugged peasant raw dog him into his mattress. It's nothing, you know.
Oh, baby boy. Silly little man. Poor Blitz. Stolas only cares about being raw dogged into, like... And I do wonder about that, like, in Blitz's head, because, like, it feels like at least part of that assumption is defensive. Right? Like, it feels like at least part of the assumption, Stolas can't actually love me. Like, there can't be the chance for anything more here, because I am Blitz, and I am not allowed to have, like, fulfilling relationships or be happy, right? So like that's sort of the same thing with Mox in the episode in Unhappy Campers, right? Mox gets so deep into his own insecurities about not passing as a woman, about like not being able to execute a plan or like do things like with the plan that he had in his head. Like these insecurities compound so much that by the end when he's confronting Millie, right, and being like, why does it matter so much what these hicks think of you? He's not talking to her at all, right? Like she's not even present in him. He's talking to himself, but he's projecting it onto her as a way of trying to externalize and deal with it. Because like, that's a good question, Mox. Why does it matter so much? And so like, the question here is like how much does Blitz really know about how he feels? Because I would imagine if he has been through a lot of neglect, if he's been through a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, if he has experienced almost every relationship in his life as purely transactional, right? Like especially foundationally from his father, it feels defensive for him to say, this isn't anything more than that. It can't be anything more than that, because if I dare to hope for it, if I dare to actually believe that this could be something more, and then it turns out it isn't, then it turns out that I'm just being used again like I've been used my entire fucking life, that's gonna shatter me to pieces, right? Because that heartbreak is really fucking hard to handle. And when you're deep enough in that kind of trauma, that abandonment, that feeling of being worthless or having no value except a service you can provide to someone else, that's a fragile position to be in, right? Like when you're in that position of considering yourself entirely as an object to be used as a coping mechanism, that's something you're doing because like you're clinging on to your last shreds of emotional stability here, right? Like you're holding on for dear life to like the last stable place that you feel like you have to stand, right? Like, oh, I understand my position in relationships. I'm supposed to do this, and so long as I just do this, things will proceed predictably, and I won't be thrown into like emotional turmoil or chaos, and I won't be like blindsided by heartbreak. Like, if I just hold on to this, then I can survive the inevitable trauma that's gonna come, right? Bad things are gonna happen, but if I have this thing to cling on to, so I wonder about that with Blitz. Like, how much does he actually believe what he just said? Because it seems like he doesn't believe it 100%. And Fizz is picking up on that.
It's nothing else.
Then why were you even there?
Other very important reasons, of course.
Whatever, I don't actually care.
I mean, Stolas is just a loud, thirsty bitch who loves feeling the thrill of getting dicked by the lower class. It's a novelty to him.
Literally just said I don't care.
And then...
Yeah, we get into... Like, remember how I talked about projection? Like, right? How if you get super deep into your own issues, like you can sort of project it out into the outside world and not listen to what people are saying. Oh, Blitz. Poor boy.
He'll call me and try and see how my day was, and he'll pretend to care about me and comment on my photos and laugh at my jokes.
Oh, well, that's definitely your clue right there that it's all bullshit.
I know, right? He's just a fake privileged...
I do like that dynamic, that what Blitz is doing right there, he's inventing a reason to be mad. Right? It's that thing of like, I can't allow myself to understand these things as signs of affection. I must understand them as signs of condescension. I must understand them as like signs of fakeness, signs that like he's just taking advantage of me. I have to, because, again, I'm clinging on for dear life to my last understanding of a stable position to be in a relationship. So if he does anything that challenges that understanding, that challenges the stability of the place that I have to stand on, that's bad. That's scary. So instead, I'm going to invent a reason to resent him and be mad at him. So that I don't, like, so that these glimmering feelings of actual affection don't develop anything further. People will do this, and I speak from experience, you will do this to yourself all the fucking time. Pay attention to that part. If you have, like, trauma around abandonment, like, at broken relationships and, like, heartbreak and shit like that, pay attention to the reasons you invent to be resentful or angry with your partners. Because you will. You will invent because that's a very normal coping mechanism for when you don't know how to deal with what's actually going on with you. Well, subsuming it all into anger, that's a way to sort of like take some agency over it. But unfortunately, it's also a great way to push your partner away from you and drive a rift between you, or like create a feeling of deep uncertainty and fear and insecurity in your partner when they try very hard to express love to you and you don't express anything back whatsoever because you just can't face the fear of emotionally engaging with them. So when they send you really, really long texts and asking you how your day was and what, like, do you want to do something? I was like, you just sent back like single word answers because you don't know how to engage with the love that they're showing you. That's a thing that you can do sometimes. That can happen to you, Blitz. You can end up doing that. And that's bad because then your partner is also like feeling the instability of this thing where on the one hand, some parts of your behavior is clearly showing that you care about them, that you actually have some real affection for them. But then on the other hand, you seem completely incapable of being emotionally available for them at all. And then your partner might get desperate and kind of scared, and that might trigger a bunch of their own insecurities. And then they might do something stupid. They could do something stupid or reckless, or they could end up doing something that will be really hurtful to both of you. I'm just spitballing here.
Asshole!
Sounds like you just hate him for being a prince. Because no one, and I mean no one, pretends to care that much just for a cheap lay.
Point is, royal demons don't give a shit about guys like us. They're all the fucking same.
That's not always true.
My. Royal demons don't give a shit about guys like us. They're all the fucking same. And again, another trigger. Fizz hears that they're all the same, and he gets upset and offended because he does a... That's not... Oh, that's true. Like, having to bite it back. And again, speaking of people sort of being disingenuous with what they're actually saying, Fizz being like, I don't care what you have to say, I don't care about it, I'm just gonna keep engaging with you over and over again and keep responding to the thing, but I don't care what you have to say, but I am definitely gonna respond to it and be like upset by it and let it affect me emotionally, but I don't care about you don't matter to me, I don't want to see you, but it's really important to me that I get the last word, it's really important to me that I get to like insult you or denigrate you or express my anger to you, but I don't care. Like, I don't have any investment in you, but like, I really need you to know how much I don't care about, like, right? Blitz cares a lot, which again, we know that they were friends. Like, there's a heartbreak there that neither of them clearly have actually dealt with. If Fizz had actually moved on, then he would actually not care, but he hasn't.
Not always true. But I guess you're right. They can't all be the same if some have taste and some want to fuck you.
Can we talk about something other than my sex life? Satan's taint. Does fucking that lust guy make this what you're all about now?
You brought it up, asshole!
You two shut the fuck up already!
I do like that Stryker just has to sit there and listen to it.
Bicker like a couple of teen skanks. As far as I'm concerned, you two are both embarrassments to our kind for meddling with blue bloods to begin with. But at least Loudmouth here has the sense to only fuck his rich bitch, instead of being a little purse dog.
Oh, great. The fucking supremacist is on my side. Wonderful.
Neither of you filthbags know what you're even talking about. If you think you're superior to anyone, then you are no better than any royal.
Don't you?
Ugh. Oh, Fizz, you just can't resist that little jester's instinct, can you? It's like the curse of the comedian. All you have to do is, like, not set him off right now. Something I enjoy in animation is restriction, right? When a character is restricted from using their full body, how do you still express them, right? Like, how do you still get their personality, their feeling, their physicality out when, like, with Fizz, for example. By the way, Fizz, you have extending arms? Like, a lot extending arms? I don't know how that duct tape is holding you down, but okay. How do you still express their physicality, right? Like, how do you still make them feel like them in the way that they behave? And, like, you can see it there, right? Like, Fizz still manages to do a twirl. Which, like, that seems to be, like, a consistent part of it, as it were, his moveset, right? Think about him as a fighting game character. He still manages to do a little twirl. Because that's what Fizz does, right? Like, Fizz loves to twirl, he loves to spin around, he loves to, like, to swing his arms.
Anyone, then you are no better than any royal.
Don't you dare.
God. It is always horny with Stryker. It always ends up horny with Stryker. Like, who animated this? Whoever it was. I mean, I salute you. I support you on your journey.
You dare finish that sentence, clown.
Hey, hit for hire! I said watch him, not fuck him!
I guess Crimson agrees with me.
Keep your hands off the merchandise!
Ever heard of mouthwash? Fuck face!
Hey, Blitz, it kind of seems like, Fizz, it kind of seems you could just fit through the bars. I don't know. Maybe there's an opportunity there. Oh, well. That's not a very good cage. Like, I mean, I guess they're elevated above the... Still, come on.
Can I just sign it already? Like, can we move this along?
Sire, you need to know the contents of this contract. You can't just sign it. A deal made with a sin like yourself would be everlastingly binding. Perhaps I can look it over. I'm a fast reader.
Perhaps I can use my nerd powers to assist you, sire. Well, you see, sire, you're in luck. I am incredibly... I have never had a life. I'm sorry. I make fun of him because Stolas is a little bit too much like me for my liking sometimes.
Oh, This is a contract giving Crimson all of Ozzy's factory assets and giving him permission to use Fizzarolli's head for a wall decoration.
Wait, what?
Just making sure you're paying attention. Here's the real contract.
Oh, this will be fun.
Again, Stolas, fuck up. See, because if you want to know a little bit about me, this is the age before Wikipedia, right? The long ago forgotten before times, like through the mists of time into the world before the internet existed. I would go to the library between classes and I'd read the encyclopedia. I got through all of it by like 4th grade. So again, Stolas, you fucking nerd. I feel a little exposed here.
I love words.
You know, you're really bad at this.
You know, last time I checked, I was a fucking jester, not an escape artist.
Oh! Prosthetics,
I
huh?
just want to go home.
You want me to get you out?
Yes.
Oh. Oh. They have so much fun with his expressions. What a lovely character design for that. Okay, that's slightly baller. Like the fucking CinemaScope narrowing down with the letterbox thing. Are we about to see something cool, or are we setting up for a joke where like Blitz falls on his face?
You had a knife this whole time.
Now stop bitching while I work.
The little quote, like, again, it's like we talked about, like I've never seen an independent animation studio that like can resist a Yamcha pose. I've never seen an independent animation studio that can resist a Sailor Moon reference. I have never met a cinematic composer in my life, not a single goddamn one of them, that can resist the fucking Psycho quote in the soundtrack. I've never seen, they can't. It's like a Pavlovian impulse for them. If a character holding up a knife, Psycho quote. Every time we allude to it. Which, by the way, again, it's not really my special area of interest, but I do want to... Soundtracks and sound design are invisible arts, right? Like, this is it's the tragedy that I've talked about with animation a lot, right? If you do it right, no one notices how hard you work, right? If you do animation right, everything looks so fucking effortless, so natural, so free-flowing. Nobody sees the level of craft, the difficulty that comes with doing that, right? It's the tragic thing. It's like people will watch this thing that you've poured blood, sweat, tears, and like all of the powers of your soul into, and they'll go, oh yeah, that was pretty cool, and they will not appreciate... They'll not appreciate like the level of dedication, the level of understanding, the competence, the knowledge, the collaboration that is necessary to produce those things. It sucks. Sound design and soundtracking is much the same, right? Because a lot of the time, I don't really notice soundtracks consciously. I don't pay attention to them a lot of the time. It's just not how I'm built. I pay attention to the animation. That's my area of nerd expertise. But like the fucking composers, the soundtrackers for these episodes are so fucking good. Like because there isn't a single moment I can think of in like most of basically any of these episodes where I went, oh, the sound design is naff here, or like the music, oh, the music is shit, like the music doesn't match the tone, or it's like it doesn't have the right sound, or the mixing is bad. There's never been that. There's never been a moment when a sound effect doesn't sound diegetic, where a sound effect doesn't sound like it belongs in the scene. It sounds cartoony, but it sounds right. And I spend so much time gushing over the animation, I do want to call out the other parts, right? That the sound design and the sound tracking and like the sound mixing on these episodes, again, because that's the thing, is like on an independent production, you underestimate how difficult that shit is. I have to do a little bit of sound design for like my edited episodes of things and like get sound effects to sound right. I was doing like in my boss designs episodes with Elden Ring, right? There's a gag that I do, like this is a Metal Gear gag, right? Where I play the alert sound over and over again, like with fucking the exclamation points appearing over a character's head, and then I play back, I use some of the stock sound effects from the game of the guards making noises like, what was that noise? Like, get him! Like, and I had to make those noises sound like they came from the right place in the frame, right? I had to match like the stereo position of all of the characters that I was making those sound effects for in order to make it sound good in the moment. It took so long! And I didn't even do that good of a job. It took so long just to get the sound effects to sound like they were reasonably stereo-centered in the right place in the image that was happening. For 5 fucking seconds, took me hours to do that and get it right. So I want to stress to you that when something like the sound effect of a knife cutting open some tape sounds right, that's not just, oh, they downloaded a sound effect from an online sound library and just plopped it into the timeline and they didn't think about it. Some time and fucking effort and some stereo balancing and like some fucking audio mixing and like the fucking EQ and like fucking, they probably put like room noise effects on that as well as like reverb and shit. Like so much work has to go into making even one little fucking sound effect sound good in the context of this shit. It takes forever. So I just want to call out that I'm not going to spend that much time talking about it a lot of the time, I'm sure. Just want you to know that there is a whole world there of craft to appreciate and to think about and to be conscious of. That's not easy. Making it sound right is not easy. It feels easy because they are good at it, right? So just shout outs to those people. You're very good at your craft. I've never noticed you fail even once in these things before. Know that I love you and I appreciate you.
Now stop bitching while I work this.
I also... Why does he have over the nipples? Does he have he doesn't have prosthetic extendable like, it's not that his nipples could, right? They're not, they wouldn't put because of, like, he could, does he have little needles in there, like guns or like, that can't be why, right?
Now stop bitching while I work this.
Background character design alert. Pixie powder. Oh, drugs. Right, obviously. Heroines. I just appreciate the background character designs. You're my favorite now. I like you. Oh, I need a high resolution version of that. That's a profile picture right the fuck there.
Bingo.
So what now, genius?
See that remote?
I mean, I could stretch down there.
No. I have a better idea.
Do you, Blitz? Are you sure you have a better idea? Oh, I guess you do. I know it's a cartoon. I know it's just for fun. I know it's like he pulled it out of Hammer Space, but where the fuck did you get the popcorn?
Well, that didn't...
Ah, there we go. Yeah, I do like when we get to see Blitz being good at what he does. That's nice. Like, you get to see him being competent and not just permanent fuck up all the time. That's cool. Like, that's a nice thing. Also, these fucking smoke clouds. Hate the motion blur, but I do appreciate a good voluminous smoke cloud rendering. Because it's really a simple thing. Like, look at this, right? Mostly flat color surface. We don't do anything. All we do is we just carve, like, these valleys of shadow into the volume, and you don't need to, like, this is a mistake I sometimes see, well, no, it's not a mistake, but it's an affect that I see people do sometimes when they try to render and draw smoke clouds in things, is like they put way too many lines on it because they feel like, oh, every part of the surface there has to be a thing that has, like, same thing with clouds, right? But, like, no, most of the volume of this stuff, you can really just imply that with, like, a few sort of, like, jagged cuts of shadow into the form of the thing, and you can get, like, the vast majority of the volume, the vast majority of, like, the feeling of expansiveness, without, you don't need to render most of the surface. Like, you really don't. And I just like that. I appreciate that.
Show off.
Oh, that's a cute detail. He's got a face mask going on. Background character designs. Hey, it's his henchman. People said that he specifically was gay, which, like, that's a very homophobic boss to work for, my man. Just saying. Another little thing, by the way. Just a little thing. Fizz and Blitz, I don't care about you. I don't care about you. Fuck you. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Who gives a shit? But also, Net, the instinct, the very first thing Blitz does the moment danger presents itself, protect the kid. Right? Protect my little brother. Instinctively. Like, immediately. Right? They both, at this point, have the option to leave the other one behind. No problem. But instantly, his first thing is protect the friend. Right? Like, protect family. Protect... and then grab his arm and get him out of there. Right? Could have just left Blitz easily if you didn't care about him. But Blitz doesn't have that capacity, does he? Again, just, I love the, like, he does the little fucking Sonic skidding to a halt. Like, catching himself, building up speed to try and go the other way. Aw, a little bit of doubling. I love a smear. Like, Fizz's whole body is just set up to be smearable, to be stretchable.
This usually works. God damn it! Fuck!
Twisty, 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 spin! God, the animators have fun with this guy.
What the fuck, Fizz? How is someone this flexible, this useless in combat?
I'm a perfect.
Aw. Expression alert.
Useless in combat.
And again, I don't care about you at all. Oh, I hate you. Oh, we hate each other so much. Aw.
In combat. I'm a performer. I sing, I dance, I promote products that I don't actually use. I don't do danger.
Nope, I'm not gonna say it.
Well, good to know you're still a wimpy circus puss.
I'd give you a comeback, but that'd imply I'd give a shit when you think.
Yeah, it would. It would, Fizz, because you just gave him a comeback.
You always cared what I thought.
Oh, after what you did to me.
I didn't do anything. It was an accident.
An accident? Are you kidding me? You all.
Oh, right. Fizz used to be fully red-skinned. Didn't he?
Are you kidding me? You always had it out for me because people liked me better. You wanted me gone because you were jealous, just wanting the spotlight. I looked up to you. I thought you were my best friend. You ruined my life.
Well, I guess that explains what happened to him. Okay. Oh, Christ. Is this... I'm gonna call a prediction here. Blitz, whatever happened, whatever reason there was for the fire to start, it was probably because Blitz was trying to, like, he wasn't looking at Fizz, he was looking at his dad. Right? Probably trying to do something to get them out from under that. That's my call, anyway. I could be wrong. It could just be he got drunk and knocked over something that he's, like, because he's depressed and sad and miserable. Who knows? But that would be my call.
And because you were jealous, just wanting the Just wanting the spotlight. I looked up to you.
Also, I did see the "Wish You Were My Son" greeting card. In case anyone was wondering.
I thought you were my best friend. You ruined my life. And then you just left me. I lost so much because of you, and you selfish piece of shit, you didn't even care.
I did care! It was an accident. It was. Okay, you're right. It was all my fault, okay? I should have done more to help. I was trying. There was so much going on. I was trying to get help, Fizz. It was still my fault.
Glad you can admit it. Want a medal?
Look, I'm sorry, Fizz. I am so sorry that you got so hurt.
Or he just, yeah. A small gesture of, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Fizz's eyes only. With a flower. And a little heart on it. Uh-huh. On the outside looking in. And then it's like, by the way, the fade of the shadow in on Blitz's head here. That is a really effective gesture, like literally darkening him as he does like one inconsiderate thing, right? Like one motion, one movement, one action taken in anger at the wrong time, and everything goes to shit. Because that's how it be sometimes, isn't it? One little thing you do. Just the one time, right? Which, if what we're looking at here is what it looks like it is, which is a love confession, gee, I wonder why Blitz has so much difficulty thinking that he's worthy of being in a loving relationship with anyone. I can't think why. I don't know. Seems like a silly thing to believe about yourself. What kind of evidence could he possibly have that he's a danger and a harm and a problem? And, like, someone who's inevitably going to fuck up the lives of everyone he cares about? I don't know. I can't think what would have caused him to think that about himself. Ah, well.
You got so hurt.
Guess we'll never know.
I'm sorry for what you lost. And I know I can never make that right. But you have no idea what I lost in that fire.
The implication being that the fire killed his mom. Which, you know, that would probably explain something about why Barb is so done with him.
I mean, it's all my fault. I'd hate me too. I mean, I do hate.
Perfect timing. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I do like the face journey that we get from Fizz here, right? Of first, like, dismissal. I don't want to hear this. Then anger is like, fuck you. That you don't get to be sad about this. Shouldn't be and then like he can't quite find it, right? Like he's looking for the anger that allows him to like dismiss and fuck you, like not care, not feel empathy. But the empathy overwhelms, right? That's quite well acted.
I mean, I do hate
Instant transmission! Teleport behind you. Nothing personnel, kid.
So, why didn't you try to tell me any of this? Or come see me? Even once would have been fine.
I tried. You were all I had left, Fizz, but they told me you didn't want to see me.
I never told them that.
Bullshit. You didn't?
No, and no one told me you came.
Oh.
Hey, Blitz, you know the thing about, like, trying to come see someone after they've been hurt in the hospital? Maybe the lesson you should have taken away from that was to try even... Anyway, like, just saying, like, like, hey, maybe there's someone here who's, like, really angry and resentful and hurt that you just left them in the hospital after they'd been hurt and didn't, like... I don't know. It's just, you know, anyway.
Right on a stair! Trying to have a fucking emotional moment here!
Okay, so I believe this draft allows for some factory ownership, specifically located in the Greed Ring, with allocated funds going to your client for the foreseeable future while ensuring the safe return of one Fizzerali.
Yeah, sure, sounds good. Now, let me just reread this.
Hurry up!
Yelling won't make me read faster.
Oh, lovely. He set Stolas' cape on. You see the smoke? Oh. Stamp, stamp, stamp. Little Secretary Bird. Oh. Like, get it, Secretary Bird, because of he's reading the documents, but also he's stomping. I thought it was a good joke. Leave me alone.
Look, misunderstanding or no, it's hard to just forgive you.
Smack bang. I like that move. That's cool.
To just forgive you. It's been 15 years, and that's so much time. But I guess.
Wow, you two work together so well. It's almost like you have like a natural synergy, like the parts of your skill sets complement one another and you come together to form a greater unified whole rather than being pushed apart. It's almost as though you have skill sets that sort of like, I don't know.
I guess you did.
That's a little thing, right? Like that's what's being demonstrated visually here is that when they work together, when they are together as a whole, they are better than when they are apart, right? Which, like, again, it's a small thing, but it's just a nice way to illustrate it, right? It's a classic way. Like, you'll see this all over the fucking place, that, like, when characters begin to bridge their emotional divides, when they begin, and they start to, like, sync up with each other and work together with each other, it's just the visual language communicating to you, oh, they are actually kind of better when they're not divided from each other.
Didn't really ruin my life.
Well, you're telling me getting blown up didn't ruin your life?
It was painful and challenging, and, you know, fuck you still, but it's not like I'm broken, and I now have someone who understands me, and...
I fucking love these moves, man. Such a good use of Fizz's anatomy as well. Like, this is where all his swirling and twirling and, like, spinning around like really comes into play. Excellent.
My life has actually been pretty great.
Yeah, that's lovely. You got a good thing going on with that horny rooster fucker, don't you?
Oh yeah, it's been fantastic. 'Cause, you know, it's a great gig, and he's got the biggest cock, you know? Like, massive. I mean, imagine, like...
Are you doing his dick or his balls there, Fizz?
I mean, imagine, like, biggest, just a giant, huge, like a kaiju, but it's a cock, you know what I mean? Like a big monster, it's big, it's huge.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I'm happy for you, Fizz.
Also, touch as a component of that, like reaching out, bridging a gap. Why don't you have your guns anymore? Oh well.
If you want to prove yourself, cowboy, here's your chance.
You've been a pain in my ass long enough, Blitz. Now, I'm gonna break you like a fucking horse.
Oh, don't you dare talk sexy to me.
You're still on the horse thing?
Fizz, remember how you used to distract
Noodle gag, noodle incident.
my dad so I could steal his booze?
I mean, yeah? Why?
Yeah, well, I need to get up to that window there to bust us out.
Oh, one distraction coming up. When I was a young boy, I never thought it'd come to this. The scars all seem to heal, and soon all I feel is regret. And now...
I do unironically love a good distract the villains with a musical number bit. It's a good gag. And again, we really get to play with the noodle arms and the flexibility. Right? Like that fucking move. That makes no sense physically whatsoever, right? Like he's not a serp. Like what the... How is he moving? How is he propelling himself forward? Doesn't matter. Like, it really is, it's such a playful thing for animation, because, like, they can just do what the fuck ever, right? Like, fucking what, does this make any sense as a physical means of locomotion? No? Who gives a shit?
I feel is regret. And now I'm a grown man. I've lost it all again. But what I'll miss the most, pay close attention while you get a look at this. Yeah, look at this. Then look at that. Here's a hat. This nonsense mostly doesn't mean a thing. But listen closely, maybe it explains everything. The secret to Bitcoin, computers and microchips, the key to the future. If you only look at this, riches untold. You'll have dollars and gold if you focus on me as the story unfolds. Look at this. I hold the key to the mystery.
Look at that shit. Ah, that looks like it's so fucking fun. Is that the Necronomicon? What the fuck? Okay. Very much also, like, in terms of as a musical number, this feels a lot like it's taking more than a few pages out of the Beetlejuice musicals book.
You'll have dollars and gold if you focus on me as the story unfolds. Look at this.
I do like the expressiveness.
I hold the key to the mystery. Look at this. Look at nothing except for me.
I will say, Fizz, if you managed to tie them up just now, you know, that feels like you've half solved the problem. Anyway, Hypnosis eyes.
Look at this. That was gibberish. Let's go hurry the fuck up. I don't know how long I can do this.
I'm gonna need another 60 seconds.
Oh, fuck! Okay, the thing I'm trying to say, I will say if you look this way. You know, it's
Yeah, no, I've been there. Like, I've been there. At some point, you just run. Well, I never run out of anything to say.
Sarali used to say, "Puzza lasagna, contorni limoncello."
This is more Looney Tunes. That's a classic Bugs Bunny gag. Like, fuck it. Out of ideas, let's cross-dress.
Forte piano, buongiorno alla vongole, Luigi, Firenze, Bucatini, Cingale.
Are you about to blow up the building that Fizz is inside of again?
Cingale. So look at this. Please look at this. I am running out of places I can take this bit. So look at this. Look at my face. I regret every event that got me in this place. This little song is driving me insane. My exhaustion is audible. Now the ending is probable, cause this ruse is impossible to maintain. So
Aw, he gets one good punch in. Gadoish! Suck it, Striker. Go, go, Gadget! Fuck you!
to maintain. So fucking bye-bye.
Keep running, though. Like, keep going.
You know, you're actually pretty good at this action hero bullshit.
And you really know how to put on a show, which is almost as impressive as the thing you said I was good at.
A car will do.
I guess royal jesters first?
Yeah, should have kept running a little faster.
Get your fucking shit-stained claws off him!
Striker seems to be having a good one. Oh, are we having, Oh, that seems to have been going on for a bit. Oh, dear. Sorry, it's Discord. Can't help it. Oh, poor Striker. Like, you used to be so mysterious and scary, Striker. You used to be such a menace. Oh, boy. Still dangerous, of course, but...
You think I'm just gonna let you get away after all this? I'm through losing these fights! This worthless little pet reeks of his overbloated master. I'll at least enjoy getting rid of him.
Okay, is it bad that I'm getting hard?
Shut the fuck up! Why is it always a sex thing?
Striker, you're the one... You can't choke someone slowly while saying it's nice to watch the life. Like, I'm sorry. You're in hell. You have to know. You can't not possibly be ignorant of... Okay. Time to do the thing you couldn't do the first time. We're re-experiencing the trauma. We're reenacting the terrible thing that happened, which means we have a chance for things to maybe turn out differently this time. And I don't 100% trust. I don't 100% trust that it's not going to go wrong again. Hey, circus skills.
You blew me up again, you fucking prick!
I did. But this time I stuck around.
Okay, like, maybe you didn't need to state it outright. Like, I feel like it was pretty clear you didn't need to say it, but okay. Oh.
Would it fuck up up the moment if we made out right now?
Expression alert. They really have fun with this fucking character design. Like Blitz is pretty expressive on a good day, but he doesn't hold a candle to Fizz. And you can see what he's doing here, right? He has this moment of like genuine connection, genuine forgiveness, genuine repairing of a broken relationship. And he can't resist. He can't resist the bit, because this is emotionally vulnerable and difficult. He can't resist doing a bit about it, right? I have to joke about it. I have to do something to disarm the vulnerability of this moment. Poor boy.
Would it fuck up the moment if we made out right now?
That's it. I'm going to fucking end your life. Fizzy.
Aw. Fizzy. Canoodling noises.
I missed you.
Get fucked, little one.
Oh, my Satan!
I'm sure that was fine.
I'm so glad you're okay, babe. You ain't never leaving the palace without protection again.
Oz, you know there's eyes around.
I know. I don't care. Because they know if they tell anyone, I'll break them.
Rightly doodly dong. This is gonna get me demonetized again, isn't it? Oh well.
I'll break them.
Love a good smear. Love a good smear.
Well, don't worry. Today I learned that I hate going outside.
You won't have to again.
I'm sorry, I got a little messy.
You don't need to apologize for getting banged up, babe. I'm just sorry I couldn't be there.
It's okay.
How horny are you gonna be about this limb replacement? Because there's a lot of horny places you can take, like the cybernetic thing with the wires and the connecting to people's nerves and stuff. The robot fuckers will know this, but there's so many extremely horny places you can go with that.
Okay, Oz. Guess I'm just not used to this kind of thing.
It's been an intense day. Just take it easy, okay?
Oh, it's fine. I'm fine, really.
No, you're not!
You know I bounce back fast. Oh.
No, you're not! You are not fine! You are traumatized! Oh my god. There's a little bit of that, like... There's a little bit of that in Fizz as well, isn't there? Like, that little thing of like, oh, no, my pain, whatever. Like, don't worry about it. Like, when he's around someone that he loves, that impulse to obliterate himself, to people please.
So, besides my whole scary hostage thing, how was your day?
Well, I was stuck with Stolas the whole time, who, by the way, asked me to give him one of my crystals as a gift for that guy you hate. So, I told him no.
Nah, fuck it. Let him have it.
Excuse me?
Yeah, why not? You could say he earned it.
All right, then. Anything for you.
Could have been hornier with it. Oh well.
Now, I don't know about you, but having a violent brush with crime has given me a whole mess of new kinks. You wanna go make a mess?
You really think that's a good idea right now, Fizz?
Sure, don't you?
Well, obviously.
Meow meow, cuddle meow. Don't worry. Thank you very much. The Queeves all made it home safe and sound. Well, at least one of them got fucking killed. We saw it smeared on the window, but you know. Brightman. And James Monroe Eagleheart, or Eagleheart. Abe Gold... hang on. Do I know that name? I don't think I do. But let me just IMDb it. No. No fucking... Oh, in the other thing. Okay. For a second, I was... So, he voiced Bagheera in the Jungle Book, but it's like a... Not the Disney Jungle Book. It's like a cartoon, like, running cartoon version that, like, ran for, like, 9 years. So that's a fucking... That's a long-running thing. Let's see. What's he been in? Helluva Boss Starfield. Okay, Pokemon is Professor Kukui. Wait, he was Professor Kukui? Oh, cool. Strangeland. Trash, I digress. He was in Pathfinder Kingmaker, Lamplight City, Unavowed. Oh, he's got a bunch of video game credits. Winx Club. That's a deep cut. Ace Combat Infinity. This guy has had a long career. Gemini Rue. Yeah, this guy's done a lot of fucking work. Holy shit. A bit of writing and directing as well. Journeyman. A journeyman voice actor, clearly. Again, I mean, I hammer on this all the time, but like just the sheer number of people it takes, right? This is a web series. It's a high quality web series, but the sheer number of people that it takes to put something like this together. That's the thing, is like sometimes, like, I often mention that animation is inherently a collaborative discipline, right? Like in terms of the form that animation takes, it's like the amount of one-man like productions that exist in the world are basically zero. And sometimes people will bring up certain, like, what about all the independent like 3D porn animators and stuff? Well, they get their rigs and they get their models. Like, they usually don't make those themselves. That's a lot of sharing that happens in the 3D porn community, of people like lending out or creating custom models for one another. They don't just take the models from the video game all the time. A lot of the time those things are custom made, right? So even an expert 3D animator who makes all of their own 3D animated porn, they rely on like asset stores where they can buy like whatever props, whatever like scene paraphernalia they need for what they're doing. The guy who did, I still haven't watched them, but like the Astartes web series, like that's made by one man. It's like, no, I guarantee you that like that guy relies on like shaders, he relies on all kinds of assets and things that are generated by other people in order to be able to populate the scenes that he makes for those things. It's like, yes, he might be the only guy who's actually doing the animation on them, but in order to produce an animation, in order to produce a thing, right? It's especially in 3D, you need people to make assets for. Like, you don't have that on file. You don't have the sound effects. You don't have voice actors. Like, just, you can't just be your own voice actor for everything. No one's that good. It's collaborative. Like, there is just no way to produce anything short of like a reel of like one character doing something. It's like, it is collaborative. It has to be, because it involves so many different disciplines and so many different forms of media. It's like, it's not really something that any one person can ever make just on their own. Well, not that it's impossible. It's possible. I've seen a few productions by people who like literally soloed the whole goddamn thing, and that but it's the kind of thing is like, it's a level of stress and difficulty and responsibility to take upon yourself that's like, it gets a little silly at some point, like to not bring in other people to help you, right? Like at some point it's like, that's very impressive, but also it's not the best way to do it. It just isn't. Man, also some fucking we'll go back and look at, but some, like, the visual effects in this episode. Again, invisible art, right? Like, if it's good, you don't notice it, but... Once again, backgrounds. Like I said, the fucking background design in this show, the amount of shit they put up once for a shot that lasts 0.2 seconds and never reuse ever again is like... Oh, they forgot to put someone on the... Oh, that happens sometimes. I'm glad they corrected that in subtitles, at least. And they're doing some outsourcing also, I see. Like, which they would have to. Once again, props to the sound designer, sound studio manager, sound editor. I don't know all the details of your craft, I just know that it's hard. Brian Sattler, good job on the soundtrack. And of course, Sam Haft is is there again doing the... Okay. That was pretty good. That was decent. I like that. How you doing, chat? I can see you now. Well, I can see you, but I can't follow you. Holy shit, you people go fast. I mean, I guess there's like 400 of you here, so makes sense. Love the color design also of like Ozzy's interior. Like the way that his bedroom is designed, like all these fucking purples and blues snaking in, and then you have like this bright, passionate red at the center of it, right? So you get this sense of like a darkly lit nightclub kind of environment, but then also all this pink and passion red. Like right on his bed, which is where it belongs, right? And again, talking about the FX animators, like the FX people, the people who make sure that shit like this composites right. And that like the glow effect that is applied to something like flames is like consistent with the lighting in the scene.
Vibrators. And then
Also, like when Ozzy gets mad, like Ozzy has those little anger moments. Also this, like this is all effects, right? With like when you like the camera, you get this soft focus Vaseline effect on the, well, lens as it were. It's all effects shit, like it's all a bunch of specialized people working really hard to make that look good. I don't think I caught that when the little twirling of the tail around the finger.
Try to stay out of trouble.
And you can see there's like, oh, clearly that feels like something to him.
Fizzy frog.
And a little snap and an ooh. Very good. But I wanted to, well, that's later in the episode. Let's skip to, where the fuck are we when they have their confrontation with the flashback? Here. That's another thing, by the way, it's like, the story Fizz tells, right? Like, you wanted me gone because you were jealous. That's clearly, like, that's an invention, right? Like, that's a story that he has had to tell himself. He's had to come up with, like, why isn't my best friend here? Why did he seem to run away with the fire? Why did he never come to talk to me? Why? Like, that's a story that he has to invent to make sense of his experiences, right? He has to invent that story because, like, nothing else makes sense, and that's the thing we talked about, like, reaching for resentment, reaching for anger when you don't have any other way to cope with or deal with or understand your feelings, is like, to me, that reads clearly as like a story that like Fizz has concocted for himself in order to process and make sense of what happened to him. Is like, well, that it has to be that. It must be that, surely. Because, like, why else? Why else would he not come to see me? Why else would he run away during the fight? Like, that's the only story that he's been able to tell himself that makes sense, right? Stryker kind of fine, not gonna lie. Yeah, clearly he is. Like, that character design is horny as shit. And that's, again, that thing of, like, if you don't communicate, right? If you don't communicate with someone, if you don't talk to them, if you don't, like, reach out, people will fill in the gaps with their own worst fears, right? Like, they'll fill in the gaps with their own worst insecurities, with their own, like darkest impulses, will flow in to fill those gaps in understanding, which, by the way, hey, I wonder if that's maybe happening in another one of Blitz's relationships right now. Just saying. Like, my point there being mostly that this is a recurring theme, right? It's, like, this is something that comes up again and again as, like, a part of what forms the, like, the consequences, right? Like, a part of what forms the difficulties and the challenges to the relationship in this thing. By the way, the fucking flames, like, with the dark crumbling as shit goes up. What a flash frame. The clown nose is the last thing to go. Whoop. Like, the FX animation here is like... And there goes the clown nose, right? Also, the way that poor Fizz is animated here is like... Literally, this gets very dark, but also, like, in terms of the rendering of the brutality that we're seeing, it's like they don't pull punches here. This is brutal. This is fucking grim, man. And I wonder about the significance of horns here. Because, like, Fizz has that insult towards Blitz, right? Of, like, my horns were always bigger. So, like, the breaking of the horn here, in terms of the way it's used in this scene, it's like, it seems to have, like, a metaphorical, this is the breaking of the relationship, right? Like, this is a wound that's, like, never gonna heal kind of thing. Oh, Christ, man. That is... with the finger just torn off at the ligament, like the flesh literally melting off his bones. Jesus. How did the Fizzbot from Lululand die again? Yeah! Grim! Grim. You should check the picture of Blitz's mom. You might notice something she had. No, yeah, the amulet. Like, it's the thing that he's wearing. I think I spotted that back when we saw the first picture of his mom. Again, the instinctive protective reaction, right? To keep each other safe, even in spite of it all. And like the framing of like the advancing explosion being like with that thing in the foreground. Like, come on. Like, they're laying it on a little thick, but I like that. Anyway, scars. That's a lot of normal red skin that he has there. And then how exactly? Kadoosh. Right into that eye. Huh. Funny how that lines up. I guess that, like, that just, like, people already told me that, like, it's the scars, right? That, like, the white parts of an imp's body, like, usually indicate that there's some kind of scarring or something happening. Barbie was supposed to be running out of the tent that his mom died in the storyboards, by the way. That would probably have been good here, because, like, they show, like, they indicate what it is that was lost here. Like, the picture sort of indicates that that's his mom dying. I do feel like having Barb specifically run out of the flames here would probably have aided that a little bit. Maybe it was too grim. I don't know. Which, again, like, after you fucking showed with the hand and, like, the missing limbs and the blood and all of it, it's like... I don't know, it couldn't have been too grim, surely. Whew. I do also like that, like, you have no idea what I lost in the fire, right? His mom dies, and then the way the flame, like, carves a perfect split between the siblings, right? I lost my mother, and also it drove, like, an unbridgeable rift between me and my sister, right? Like, the whole family comes apart because of this, understandably so. Which I guess that would be why they wanted the picture instead, right? Like, because that does the storytelling for that as well. Which, again, I feel like that's, you can kind of parse that, looking at, you know, at the way things played out, but now the question I have here is, like, they told me you didn't want to see me, and then Fizz was like, hang on, I was never asked about this. So why was someone actively trying to keep them apart? No spoilers, please. Yes. Because, like, I can think of, like, 5 or 10 different things, like, whether it's a plot. It could just be, like, we saw people in Sloth, right? Like, we saw the hospital system in Sloth and, like, how it can be kind of... so who knows? Maybe it was just too much trouble, but I can also imagine easily that, like... what a frame. Like, if Fizz was, like, the moneymaker for the circus... Anyway, Mad Aussie. Not here. That was during the ransom scene. I do like, though, that Aussie is so, like, he's so impulsive. Like, he's so impatient and impulsive that he's, like, literally about to sign away his entire empire to Krim. Like, just, yeah, fuck it, whatever. Don't, like that there is this, like, when he, like, and that sort of suits him as the embodiment of lust, right? Like, that when there is this thing that he wants, that he cares about, that he desires deeply, include, like, the return of a loved one, that kind of occludes all of his other reasoning, right? That sort of becomes the only thing that he can care about in that moment. So, like, there's this overlap between, you know, romantic passion and... I wonder if that's intentional parts of the characterization, but who knows. Let's see. What I wanted to take a look at, and this has been a fucking while. The FX in this scene. Lovely smearing, by the way.
Do you have any idea who you are?
So again, the effects animators, like, who are responsible, like, for the thing of, like, making sure that all of these light sources, all of this shit that's happening is, like, feels concordant with what the scene is doing. I really like how they handle this. Very Hades, like, very sort of Hades, Disney's Hades. Like, when he gets mad, he gets a little Super Saiyan about it. Someone said, check Ozzy's phone earlier in the scene. Oh, can we actually see the texts? Because when oh, we can actually see what the texts are. Did you know the bit of skin on your elbow is kind of weenus? Shit's wild. I just saw a billboard with a massive banana on it. Make me think of you. Aw. Got the milk. Now I'm gonna show these greet ring bitches a real fucking entrance. Get ready for the headlines. Also, the babies say hi. Aw. That's cute. Froggy. Like, we literally are fully doing some Super Saiyan shit here, right? Where, like, the world begins to quake. Like, they just barely held them. I swear to God. Yeah, I see people have watched Game Changer. I swear to God, someone was probably physically restrained from just having, like, little rocks starting to float in the scene here. Someone had to be physically restrained from doing that, because this right here, this fully is, like... Like, with the top-down thing, and, like, the hair growing, that's fully a Super Saiyan transformation scene. Like, that's fully what that is. Come on. And then, like, cross-cutting from that into the tiny little light on his cigar. Aw. Is this a Mr. Smithers kind of situation? Like, is that what's going on with this guy?
Oh, chill out, Jester. Christ on a stick. It's like you've never been tied up before.
Sure, but not by a bunch of psychos and a piece of shit.
Am I... Okay, am I...
Like, just the fucking neck. The fucking shrimp-ass neck on the posture that Blitz has most of the time.
Okay, am I the psycho or the piece of shit?
Both.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah, that checks.
How is this happening?
Look, again, the thing I talked about, like, how do you get the character across when they're restrained, right? Blitz, for the most part, quite calm, like doesn't really wiggle around too much, doesn't do too much, and then Fizz just like physically incapable of staying still, of not using his entire body to express his feelings at all times, right? It's just good animation work, man. Anyway, I don't think Oz is the weakest sin, literally. I think Krim is projecting because this massively powerful demon is being made weak. Yeah, like, exactly. Is like, that's the thing with Krim. Like, my sense with Krim specifically is, like, what we saw in X's and O's is that Krim cannot stand the concept of like not being the one in control, not being the one in charge, right? Like his wife defies him even a little bit about how they're gonna raise the child who is both of their son. And well, she has to die now because he cannot stand this idea that someone else is like more powerful or has any kind of leverage or power or control over him. Like, or an ability to deny him the thing that he wants to do, right? And like, so what, like, his encounter with Ozzy is like, I don't think he actually thinks Ozzy is the weakest sin. I think he's like, well, he has to be because he's weaker than me, right? Like, I am in a position of strength over him, therefore he's weaker than me, therefore he's the weakest, right? Like, I think it's more that, like, reasoning backwards from his own perceived superiority. Because that kind of seems to be his thing, right? Like, that's why he gets taken advantage of by Chaz, is because he has this assumption of superiority, of being in charge. Like, if it seems right to me that this dipshit from off the street has a lot of money that I want, then it has to be true, because I am the guy who's in charge and in control, so I can't have been fooled by him, right? Like, it's something that makes him, it's a weakness, right? Like, it's not really a strength in him, it's a weakness that he has this pathological need to underestimate whoever he's in an antagonistic relationship with. It's nothing else. Why were you even there? Other important reasons, of course. Smear frames. Yeah, stalking his co-workers, right?
Very important reasons, of course.
Whatever, I don't actually care.
Liar.
I mean, Stolas is just a loud, thirsty bitch who loves feeling the thrill of getting dicked by the lower class.
Liar.
It's a novelty to him.
Liar.
Literally just said I don't care.
Liar.
And then he'll call me and try and see how my day was, and he'll pretend to care about me and comment on my photos and laugh at my jokes.
Oh, well,
Just like, the absolute Olympics of self-deception here. Poor babies. Poor babies. You brought it up, asshole. Yeah, but you can't help yourself, Fizz. You can't help yourself from replying. It's a very good part of his characterization, too, right? Like, it's that thing of, like, we see it over and over again, that Fizz just can't resist a bit, right? In exactly the same, like, Fizz can't resist answering back or saying something or having the last word or, like, saying something. We see exactly the same thing with Blitz here, right? Like, he can't resist, right? Like, and that's a similarity between them that I really like. That, like, they both have that impulse in them, right? Like, hey, there's a bit I could do right now that'd be really funny, it would be really insensitive, and it would ruin the moment, but I can't resist it. Again, the similarity between them, right? They were raised the same way. I like that there's that similarity in how they handle things. Because they're clowns, exactly. Some people were actually mad that Ozzy values consent. It doesn't make sense for the sin of lust to be against rape. Yeah, no, that's very silly because, like, sexual assault has nothing to do with lust, really. That's one of the things that can be very difficult to come to terms with about it, is that it's not actually about pleasure. It's not actually about getting your rocks off or whatever. It's about power. It's about abuse. It's about control. Like on a psychological level, fundamentally, right? Like the people, like, and one of the ways that when someone assaults another person in that way is like it happens because they want to assert power and control and domination. That is what the function of that act is in any relationship, right? That's what the function of it is. So if it falls under any kind of sin, it's like wrath, pride. Like those are more like the sins where that sort of thing would apply to, because that's what motivates them. Like this is like one of the things. Like people will commit sexual assault towards someone that they're not attracted to in the least. Right? People will commit sexual assault outside of their sexual preferences, like way the fuck outside. Right? It really has nothing to do with lust. It really doesn't. Like, and that's something that can be difficult to square about it, because like the people who commit it will often use, well, I was overpowered by lust, I couldn't control myself, as an excuse. And it's like, no, you weren't. No, the fuck you weren't, motherfucker. That's not what happened. That's not why you did it. That's not a thing that happens. That's not real. Right? So, you know. It feels like Ozzy and Val are designed to look alike on purpose. They're opposite. Yeah, like it's very much seems like Valentino is like, again, I don't really know what the production timeline is. Valentino is specifically designed to look like a sort of 90s stereotypical image of a pimp, right? Ozzy doesn't really have that. Ozzy has much more of a sort of, well, he's a little bit of Hugh Hefner about him, which like that still sort of brings him into the. I wouldn't make that reference if he's all about consent. Hugh Hefner is a piece of shit. Was a piece of shit. He's dead. Fuck him. But like, Ozzy's based on Vegas style magicians to an extent, yeah. Like it's more in that ballpark. It's more in the ballpark of like club life entertainers, that sort of thing. But like with the house coat and like with the open thing and like it's more sort of Playboy thing. Like like this is like my European cultural context. Like I'm thinking of like the sort of like the sort of rich dipshits who would make their home on like the Riviera and in Monaco and things like that. Like that's where I feel like the aesthetic is sort of coming from with him. And I feel like the aesthetic in the way that like especially his apartment is constructed, it's not that American. Like, to an extent, there's definitely a performance aspect here, right? Like, there's definitely some, like, with the lighted stage and, like, the raised podium thing. But I feel like a lot of the aesthetic that's being... But again, that's Vegas, right? Like, Vegas is all about appropriating aesthetics from every other part of the world in order to make a casino enticing. And, of course, like, all of hell is sort of mired in these circus aesthetics. In many, many places. Where's the other interior shot? That's right near the end. Right, like this feels more like it's sort of modeled after an idea of like some shit like a European castle kind of thing to me. But again, that's my cultural context. I don't really have that much of an understanding of wrap your wood. Yes, good idea. Don't attach condoms to things with needles though, like with pins. I've seen that before. People like putting up free condoms and like putting a pin in them on like a cork board is like, no, that's not, no. You have misunderstood a crucial part of the process.
Well, don't worry. Today I learned that I hate
Safety lessons with Johnson.
going outside.
But yeah, you're right. Like, it's probably... I kept reading it as more of a, like, European decadent sort of Belle Epoque sort of thing, but I guess it probably is, like, way more Vegas. Like, supposed to be kind of tacky and way the fuck over the top in that way. I guess that makes more sense as like an aesthetic touch point for it. This has a very like German castle vibe. Yeah, like I'm thinking of like fucking vanity castles, like the ones that in like Like, there's a couple of famous ones in Germany where it's like this fucking indolent king motherfucker just like had multiple castles built for no reason except like he just felt like he wanted another one, and they're like built to be these hyper decorated, like ridiculously. Yeah, Neuschwanstein, exactly that one. Neuschwanstein, yeah. Like these elaborate, over like Baroque, Rococo, like way the fuck over the top, like pleasure palaces. That to me was sort of the vibe that I was getting there. But I guess I can see like the idea that it's more of a Vegas thing. There are more German castles than there are McDonald's in the USA. Not quite, but it's like there's a lot. Surprisingly decent pronunciation. It's like I am Scandinavian, you know. It's not like a Danish accent is that far away from some kind of a German accent. Like, let's be honest. Yeah, we are neighbors. Like, you motherfuckers come to our beaches every single fucking year. So, like... Did you notice that one of the people he runs over is the female imp mother that Luna kicks in the... Oh, was that who it was? I did not know. I noticed that there was, like, a lady with a stroller. I didn't notice that it was, like... specifically that character. I mean, I guess it could be. I don't remember what she looks like off the top of my head, but that's a fun little callback. Okay, let's see. How long? Oh, 2 hours 16. That's respectable, isn't it? I think that's probably, well, Again, the fucking thing of, like, Stryker. What the fuck do you mean? Like, why is it always sexual? Why does everyone always make it horror? Look, what the fuck do you... Stryker, you dipshit. Like, why do you make... I'm just holding you by the neck with, like, my head right next to yours, whispering into your ear in a menacing tone. Why are you making it sexual? He's a villain in the wrong genre. Yeah, that's poor Stryker's thing, isn't it? Is like, he really wants to be a scary badass cowboy villain, but he's stuck in a show that's wall to wall with the horniest, kinkiest motherfuckers. Like, it's like being a werewolf and being stuck at a monster fucker convention, right? It's like, I'm roaring at you to try and be scary. Why are you getting horny? Like, why are you getting down on your knees? Why are you on all fours? How are you arching your back like that? Be scared of me, damn it! Oh, poor Stryker. He's just like, he's stuck in the wrong show. But seriously, dude, you can't do that to someone and be like, what do you mean? Why is it Like, look at this. He's got the fucking steam cloud out of the mouth and the sweat drop coming down. Read the room, you dipshit. Stryker ace struggles are so real. Yeah, I do like that interpretation. I like the interpretation that Stryker is so ace that he just doesn't get it. That he just, like, what do you mean this is horny? I'm trying to be scary. Like, what? How is someone turned? I'm holding a knife to your neck and growling in your ear. How could that possibly be horny? I don't understand. Oh, poor baby. Like, like, oh, like I do feel bad for Stryker, right? Like, he was supposed to be so scary. He was supposed to be so dangerous. in the fucking, what was it called? The episode with the thing. Can't remember. He was supposed to be so scary, and every episode he's appeared in since, it's just been more and more Harvest Moon. It's been more and more humiliation for the poor guy. he just can't get the genre to be what he wants it to be. I still do want for us to get some kind of insight into what the fuck his motivation is, because, like, it seems to be something happens once upon a time, some royals did something that had, like, aggrieved him personally, But it's like, if that is its only motivation, is like, once upon a time a royal fucked me up and now this is what I do with my life, that's a little shallow. And that can be interesting. Like, a shallow motivation for a villain can be an interesting thing. But, like, it has to be more than just, like, my mama's business went out, like, oh, we went out of business because of... Like, to what extent does he have personal politics? Because the other thing is, like, it could just be... This is a guy who wants to spend his life hating and hurting people, and he found a convenient excuse, right? Like, that's the other thing. It's like... Because, like, there's very legitimate reasons to be critical of power, right? Like, it's... Yeah, we shouldn't have royalty. Royalty is bad, actually. It's a bad thing to have. And I include very much the Danish royal family in this, who are very popular and who have generally managed not to be toxic shitheads or pedophiles. But we shouldn't have them, right? Because it's bad to have people who are anointed with power by the circumstance of their birth. That's another reason why billionaires shouldn't be able to just confer their infinite wealth on whatever spawn they happen to pop out of a vagina at some point or another, right? Because like it just creates people who are anointed as the upper classes of the world by virtue of just having access to money and power for no good reason except they were born into it. So like there's legitimate reasons to criticize power. Does Stryker have any of those criticisms? Like, does he actually sort of have any consciousness of like, if we removed the royals, the world would be a better place, right? Like if we removed the royals, other people would be more free to lead their lives. Does he have that? Or does he just like, I just want to kill people, right? Like I'm angry and bitter about like my own personal grievances and I just want to kill people about it and I don't really have any concept of building a better world with it, because that's usually how these villains go, right? Like that's the thing you'll see in MCU, like Marvel movies, right? Like when like Marvel movies will occasionally have like, oh, here's a sort of anarchist coded villain, bad guy who's like, oh, maybe he's like Killmonger is an example of that. Flag Smasher in the fucking Winter Soldier Falcon show, where they sort of go, oh, here's a character who has like some criticisms of the way that power is structured, but oops, it turns out that they just have personal grievances and they don't actually have a real political position and they're shallow and shitty and you don't have to think about like, and that's a way to discredit like these particular positions of like abolitionism of like anarchist political philosophy, to say, oh, it's just people driven by resentment who just hate people and they just want to hurt people and they just want to do a revolution, but they have no plan for building a better world after. Like, fuck. It's a classic way to sort of denigrate that kind of a character. So I'm very curious what the show's position actually is on this. Like, is it that royalty is actually a bad thing? That like the way that power is structured in the Hells is fundamentally unequal and should be changed? Or is it that, oh, that's just the way things are and there's no point railing against it, and anyone who's railing against it must have like no other reason except personal grievance to do it? I'm curious about that, because like we talked about that a lot when we did Has Been Hotel, right? Like that the show's ideological positions are sometimes a little bit unclear to the detriment of what the show is trying to say. That's also partly a result of just the show being so compressed as it is. Like, again, that is the show's main problem, is that like it is trying very hard to be sort of deconstructionist. Like it's trying very hard to take a critical position on things like evangelical Christianity, like concepts of like the sort of the evangelical Christian concept of sin. But it doesn't actually get to explore it in a meaningful way because heaven is never really made into a place that has an ideological position that you can oppose. Because there isn't time. There isn't time to do that. Charlie goes to heaven. There's an angel there who's nice. There's an angel there who's bad. But like the ideological problems, like the philosophical difference between like what is sin and what is redemption, it doesn't get to be explored because the show doesn't have time. With Helluva Boss, they do have time. And I'm kind of curious to see, like, if the show has an actual oblique or obvious position on what is justice in the context of, like, hell, right? I'm curious about that. I guess we'll see eventually. What was I talking about? I think I was saying something. I was trying to end this. I think that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to be like, oh yeah, we should probably call this here. But now it's 2 hours and 24 minutes instead, I guess. You all subscribed for this. I have made myself accept that you people are here for this for some reason. So this is your own fault. And let's do even more of it. Anyway, if you want to come watch one of these recording sessions, because like part of the reason why I'm trying to work my way through all of the episodes in one go, maybe 2 goes, whatever, is because I want to be there for the next one when it drops and like do the reaction on day 1. So if you want to be along for one of those, look out for Discord links. I'll post them occasionally. Maybe there'll be one in the pinned comment under one of these episodes at some point. Look out for those. They'll work for a bit. You can come to the Discord. You can sit around and like shout along with all of these fucking weirdos, these very naughty little children, and have a good time. I hope it's very fun. Like I don't get to see most of what they say until I upload the video, and you people say some shit. Let me tell you. But it's a very nice time having you all sitting here yelling at me about the things I get right or wrong, and posting the fucking sipped mouth emoji over and over and over and over again. I do enjoy. What's with the slurs? What is with that fucking pink? I guess we'll find out. Okay, bye.